Media. And this is a hot one for now, and I think always. It's always top of mind for a lot of people. So footwear brand Minnetonka Moccasin is apologizing for having appropriated Native American culture with their shoes. So I imagine there's a lot of confusion around what is or isn't considered crossing the line. I always say, is it appropriation or is it appreciation? Where do you land on this topic?
You know, I had an ethics professor who at law school said, whenever you're trying to make a decision, what do? You give it a little sniff. And if it smells off, it's likely off and don't do it. So I would say this, you walk into a store or a powwow stand, let's say, and there's an indigenous moccasin maker making moccasins, and you think, listen, I would love a pair of those. Buy those, support that person, wear them proudly. Same thing with the earrings. When you're getting ready to go to Coachella and you strap on that war bonnet that you bought at Walmart, you probably can tell that smells a little off. Don't do it.
Aha.
So I think there's really like a line that everybody recognizes is there, but sometimes people don't want to see it between when you're supporting, an indigenous artist. But even if you bought that headdress from an indigenous artist, don't wear
do
that.
it.
Don't wear
Don't
that.
do it.
No, that's not for you.
Yeah. Do you agree, Kai or Beth?
I definitely agree 100%, as an indigenous person. And I, have made a pair of moccasins myself, and, I know the tradition that goes behind it and, the craftsmanship of it. And it's just so important that, you can totally, I have no problem with a white person wearing a pair of moccasins. They're so comfortable. Like, I want everyone to experience the comfortness of a pair of moccasins. But, make sure that you're, knowing what you're wearing, like, knowing where it comes from and, appreciating the culture and not appropriating.
Kai?
Yeah, I agree. I think that part of knowing what you're wearing or what you're appreciating involves also kind of taking a look at the history of the object or the piece of clothing. And there are some things that are sort of meant to be shared in some cultures, and then there are other pieces that are sacred, like they're spiritual. And I sort of think about, like, would it be respectful for me to see someone wearing something from my religion or my spiritual beliefs as like a costume or as something just cool, and I wouldn't feel okay with that. And I think that is like a generally good rule of thumb. Like, is the object or the symbol sacred, or is it something that is meant for more casual wear?
And it's easy to make a mistake. And I think we have to be willing to let people, you talked earlier about getting that part. All my life, I come to a Halloween party and somebody's dressed as an Indian, right? Like, that's drove me nuts. And when the Pocahontas movies came out,
Oh, forget it.
everybody was dressed as Pocahontas. But I was looking back over some of my old Halloween costumes, and I'm a big book person. The year that Interview with the Geisha came out,
Yes.
I went as a geisha that year. And I did that costume thinking I'm doing this about the book. Looking at the picture now, I'm looking at it and I'm going, no, something doesn't smell right about that. Something doesn't smell right about that. So given the chance to do that again, I would never have worn that geisha outfit. But at the time, for some reason in my mind, I was like, oh, this is so about this book, and it's not
Paying
like a group
homage,
of,
maybe?
It's not, well, no, I wouldn't have made
No?
that mistake, but I thought like it's not a group of people, it's a specific thing within the culture.
Aha.
But I should not have worn that outfit.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you made that realization and shared that. I think
Yeah.
for me right now, and especially I think with the discussions that really kicked off last year, but maybe beyond, is where is my money going? I am saying something with my money. I am supporting somebody. I am supporting a cause. I am supporting a company, what they stand for, what they don't stand for. And so these days, my guiding principle, especially when it comes to fashion, is where does this money land? In whose hands? And I happen to be right now in a love affair with indigenous artisans.
Yeah.
And I have a pair of Manitoba mucklucks that I just bought, which I am obsessed with. They're the most comfortable things in the world.
Oh, they
the
are.
earrings, and those are Manitoba mucklucks in the middle, because I want to shout out the actual artisans. That's Atticus. I got those in Quebec in an amazing indigenous store. And then that is Mini TP, which I am obsessed with this wrap and this blanket. And you know why? Because the money is going directly to the indigenous hands that made those products.
Yes.
So that is different. I am not running around trying to look like Pocahontas. I am,
Absolutely.
hopefully, I hope the message is that I am appreciating the artisanship, and I am economically supporting a community. So to me, it's a bit bigger than that. So maybe that's the guiding principle.
I have a closet full of those Manitoba mucklucks,
Oh,
but
obsessed.
I absolutely love them.